Week 10 gave us a masterclass in disappointment. Some of these players have been season-long headaches, others decided to no-show right when you needed them most. Either way, I'm calling them out. These are the fantasy busts dragging teams down everywhere. And I can't believe I have to start with Bijan Robinson? Really? Bijan Robinson? How is Bijan Robinson on the panic video? Well, you look at it, 3 weeks ago, 5.8 fantasy points. Okay, 2 weeks ago, he did have 17 fantasy points thanks to a bunch of receptions. But then this week, 10.8 fantasy points, but even worse than that, we had to watch Tyler Algier handle 11 carries and score both of the touchdowns. Meanwhile, on the other side, we got a view of how one of the best running backs in the NFL should be used, as Jonathan Taylor went for 32 carries, 244 yards, and another 3-touchdown game. Why can't the Falcons use Bijan Robinson this way? Why do they have Michael Penix Jr. throw the ball 28 times? Last week, the Falcons were the 5th highest in pass rate over expectation. I bet they're going to be one of the highest again this week in a game they were pretty much winning the entire game. They weren't playing from behind. They weren't in comeback mode. They were still letting Michael Penix Jr. throw incompletion after incompletion after incompletion. Can we just feed the ball to Bijan Robinson, please? He's one of the best players in the NFL. He's easily the best player on your team, Atlanta and Zach Robinson. Please give Bijan Robinson the ball more. I want the guy I had most of the season who was dominating fantasy, not the guy you've given us the last few weeks. Please fix this, Atlanta. Fix it now. Then is there anything we can do in Minnesota for Justin Jefferson? Please, why do I have to talk about Justin Jefferson? I also have to talk about Jordan Addison, but we got to start with Justin Jefferson because honestly, Justin Jefferson has not been Justin Jefferson this year. I mean, you look at it, one game of over 20 PPR points. That's it. This is a guy who does this every single week, week in and week out. JJ McCarthy coming back did not help. Now, what it did help was he got a ton of targets. Justin Jefferson, 12 targets. Jordan Addison, 11 targets. They turned those 23 targets into a combined 7 catches for 72 yards. That is hard to do. We're talking about 2 good players here. And then somehow, Jalen Nailor gets 6 targets and he has 5 catches, 124 yards, and a touchdown. What? You can only throw good passes to Jalen Nailor? You can't throw accurately to Jefferson or Addison or what? Now, I will say, Jefferson, I mean, again, 12 targets, you're going to take that. He did have a play where he probably should have caught it. Could have been a touchdown. It was a tough catch. He could have caught it. But we just have not seen the Justin Jefferson we are used to this year at all. Not really worth a top 5 pick in fantasy. And Jordan Addison, keep waiting for like, okay, this is a guy, good buy low, got potential, gonna explode. We haven't seen that either since he's been back. I will say the Vikings do have arguably the best rest of season schedule for wide receivers, but we need a better JJ McCarthy than this. We can't have 23 targets turning into absolutely nothing in fantasy. Come on, Vikings. Come on, JJ McCarthy. Fix this. And I don't know if there's any fixing Garrett Wilson in the New York Jets offense. I mean, at least Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison caught some passes. 0 catches here on 3 targets. And then what happens at the end of the game? He re-injures his knee, leaves, and doesn't come back. They're not even asking Justin Fields to throw the ball unless they absolutely have to. It's like, just run it to Brees, run it to Brees, run it to Brees, just over and over again. It didn't even matter. The Browns knew it was coming, and they had the luxury here of 2, a kick return and a punt return touchdown to keep them in the game. This offense is horrible. I mean, we've seen Garrett Wilson be good this year, but now we got to worry next week. Got to go New England, Christian Gonzalez, dealing a knee injury, and that assumes he even plays here. So this is not looking good for Garrett Wilson right now. We thought he could boom this week. He obviously did not boom. What's the opposite of boom? Oh, it's bust. That's what he did. He busted in week 10, unfortunately. Busted for a lot of my fantasy teams, that's for sure. Look, I want to ask the Jets to fix this, but I don't think the Jets can fix this. This is broken right here. And speaking of broken, what is going on with Bucky Irving? He was supposed to come out of the bye, finally be ready, practice, and back to carry your fantasy team, and nope, wasn't even close to playing this week. And we have no timetable. They're not saying like, well, probably next week. We're hopeful. No, we're hearing nothing. Nothing here. Not a peep. Like, where is Bucky Irving? What is going on here? When are we going to see this guy? I mean, there's not much you can really do here. Like, you can't drop him. His value's at an all-time low if you try to sell him. You just got to hold him and hope somehow, some way he comes back at some point. I mean, he's got to come back at some point, right? Like, he's got to, right? Oh, man, this is so frustrating when you have a player like this and you think, like, this is the week This is the week I'm getting him back, and instead, not even close. And now we don't even know if he's going to play next week at this point. But I do know this. If you're enjoying this video or any of the videos we put out for you on a weekly basis, do me a favor, take 1 second, hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 100,000 subscribers by the end of the season. It's not looking good. We need all the help we can get. So if you haven't subscribed yet, do us a favor, take one moment and subscribe. And then, oh my goodness, what has happened to the Denver offense? It has been terrible this year. They are just living, on the coattails of this Denver defense. Bo Nix against the Raiders, 150 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, throwing passes like just throwing it like, here, hopefully somebody's there to catch it. I don't know. Like, I don't even think he knows where the ball's going half the time. It's absolutely insane. Sophomore slump hitting Bo Nix so hard. If you drafted Bo Nix as like a semi-elite quarterback this year, hoping he would carry your fantasy team, nah, that's not going to happen this year, especially with this defense. They're barely going to need to throw. And then what has happened to Courtland Sutton here? Is he no longer the wide receiver 1 for the Broncos on the season? Troy Franklin has more targets. They have the same exact first read percentage. Here in week 10, Troy Franklin, 9 targets. Courtland Sutton, only 4. Now, granted, most of Troy Franklin's targets were just Bo Nix chucking the ball down the field. Like, you remember when you were like younger and you played football and like you just chuck, go down, go deep, I'll just chuck it. That's like Bo Nix right now. Like, this is the NFL, dude. Come on. But Courtland Sutton, anyways, not here to rail on Bo Nix. I am here to rail on Bo Nix, but I already railed on Bo Nix. Courtland Sutton, this is definitely getting frustrating here. But I will say, the Broncos do have a great rest of season schedule for wide receivers against defenses. So maybe this is one that can be fixed. Look, Sean Payton is supposed to be an offensive guru. Fix Bo Nix, Sean Payton, so we can get Courtland Sutton back. And I guess so the people who drafted Bo Nix can get their quarterback back. And you know what? I don't even care about fixing DJ Moore. Just get this guy off my fantasy teams. Get this guy off your fantasy teams. You just drop this guy, honestly. He only had 3 games of double-digit points this year. He's only gone over 12 PPR points 1 time, and that was the previous game where he threw for a touchdown and ran in a touchdown. This guy has been horrible this year. He's done nothing this year. We're seeing Colston Loveland starting to come on. We're seeing Luther Burden get more involved. Do you really even need to roster DJ Moore, let alone start? You definitely cannot start DJ Moore. Like, DJ Moore is absolutely unstartable at this point. Giving you a 0 this week has been horrible for your fantasy team. I don't even know if you need to roster DJ Moore at this point. He's been that bad. And then Kyle Monangai was a guy, look, he was okay this week. He scored that touchdown, but kind of what we were worried about here. DeAndre Swift came back. This was not a 1A, 1B. This was DeAndre Swift with Kyle Monangai mixed in. You look at it, DeAndre Swift had 18 touches in this game. Kyle Monangai had 7. Now, he did get the touchdown here, but I'm not saying drop Kyle Monangai. I would not drop Kyle Monangai because he still does have value. Obviously, if something happens to DeAndre Swift, we know he has a ton of value here, but I think he just goes back to being more of a running back, kind of in the land of handcuffs that you can consider starting, like handcuffs with some standalone value. And then so much for fixing Kenneth Walker and the Seattle backfield. Nope. What did we see after last week where it looked like maybe Kenneth Walker had taken over? Maybe they were making a change here. Nope. Right back to the same old, same old. He and Charbonnet each had 14 carries. Charbonnet was actually better in this game. Charbonnet scored a touchdown, and even though George Holani even scored a touchdown in this one. And no, it wasn't garbage time. He scored a touchdown early in this game. Right back to Kenneth Walker just being a frustrating guy, stuck in a committee, not getting goal line carries, not getting touchdowns. Right back to the bench with you, Kenneth Walker. I thought maybe this week, I did talk about him on the sneaky starts. I thought maybe this week in this matchup, if he gets the usage, it could happen. Well, he didn't get the usage. It didn't happen. Back to the bench with you, Kenneth Walker. All right, now on to some players who absolutely let you down in week 10, but I'm going to say you shouldn't be panicking on them, at least not just yet. Let's start with Brock Bowers, of course, after that monster game in week 9. Laid a complete egg in week 10 here. I guess he used it up all in week 9. I don't know, some people worried like, oh, now that Jacoby Myers is gone, he's the number 1. Defenses are going to focus on him. I mean, maybe, or maybe it was just a bad game. I'm giving Brock Bowers a pass here. You're still starting Brock Bowers for now. And Michael Pittman, I am getting a little nervous for Michael Pittman. Now, look, last week he was great. This week, absolutely disappeared. A lot of people said, hey, how do you not have Michael Pittman on the must start? This is why. This was not necessarily a great matchup for him. And we really liked Alec Pierce this week, and Alec Pierce came through. But this is the reason why I'm getting a little bit nervous for Michael Pittman, because we are seeing Alec Pierce getting more targets. I mean, this week, Alec Pierce was clearly the number 1 wide receiver, like not even close here. So we're starting to see it here, but Michael Pittman's been so good this year. I'm not ready to panic on him just yet. And please don't panic on James Cook. I know everybody sees Dolphins these days and they just instantly say, oh, Dolphins, smash spot for a running back. Look, the Dolphins have low-key been better against running backs lately. James Cook is still great. He still was okay this week. I know you expected him to smash because it was the Dolphins, and that's just how people think right now. But if you've been following it, and I've been saying it for a couple weeks now, like, hey, the Dolphins' run defense is actually getting better. Like, you would understand that, okay, this wasn't like a for sure smash spot for James Cook this week, but James Cook has been so good. You're not benching James Cook. You're not panicking on James Cook. You're putting James Cook right back in your lineup next week and taking whatever he gives you. And okay, Quinshon Judkins did not boom the way we thought he would. He was okay today, but not great. But we also didn't think the Jets would be scoring 2 special teams touchdowns back to back and kind of forcing the Browns to play from behind a little bit. But look, he still had 24 touches in this game. He still gets a fantastic rest of season schedule. Don't do anything crazy. Don't panic sell. Don't drop. I mean, no one's dropping Quinshon Judkins, but don't panic sell. In fact, I still think this presents a great buy low opportunity for Quinshon Judkins. And then finally, I know it's probably frustrating. I like David Montgomery this week. I thought he could be solid. I thought he could have a good week against the Commanders. Everything went kind of the way I expected it to. Oh, except that Jahmyr Gibbs did everything, scored all the touchdowns, racked up all the yards, and Monty hardly did anything. But come on, if you got David Montgomery on your fantasy team, you're not panicked about David Montgomery, right?